after the war was over, our unit got a request from American intelligence. I guess it was CIC, the Counterintelligence Corps. They needed people who could speak German as translators or interpreters. And they wanted to borrow a translator, an interpreter, for one day for a specific job. And so they gave me a typhus injection and then drove me to Camp Flossenburg, which was a big concentration camp in East Bavaria, a part of Germany. When I arrived there, I was instructed that my job would be to question two kapos. A kapo is himself a prisoner in a camp, in a concentration camp in this case, who is put in charge of a group of other prisoners. So these two kapos, some of the kapos being themselves prisoners, were very sympathetic with the people they were put in charge of and tried to help them any way they could without being caught helping them. But there were, most of the kapos were not very cooperative with the prisoners or not very kind to the prisoners. In fact, they tried to prove that they were just as vicious as the SS guards in order that they could keep their jobs as kapos. And so they had to outdo the SS guards in brutality. And these two kapos were accused of being of that kind. Something that a lot of people don't know is that the first occupants of concentration camps were violent repeat offenders, criminals who killed people and who did very serious crimes repeatedly. And instead of keeping them in prisons, they put them in concentration camps, and they were preferred candidates for this job of a kapo, to put in charge of other prisoners. Well, I had the first kapo brought in to the room where I was sitting, and I started out by asking some pretty simple, innocuous questions like, where was he born? How old is he? What kind of job did he have before he came to the camp? Then I got to the real questions. What kind of assignment did you have in the camp? Well, I was put in charge of a group of prisoners who worked in the stone quarry. They worked in the stone quarry. What kind of work did they do in the stone quarry? They had to move rocks, big rocks around. They had to cut them up with a hammer and chisel. They had to move the broken rocks, load them onto wagons, and carry them from one place to another. Sounds like pretty hard work. Yes, very hard work. Okay. Did you ever kill anybody who worked for you? Yes. More than one? Yes. How many do you think you killed? 8 or 10, maybe 12, maybe, I don't know, maybe more. I didn't keep count, didn't keep track. Why did you kill them? Always for a good reason. They didn't follow the rules. Didn't follow what rules? What, for example, what were some of the rules? Usually they didn't work hard enough. They knew that they had to work hard. They had to work hard. There was no choice about that. And if they didn't work hard, they had no choice. Had to kill them. Or if they didn't keep clean, You killed some people because they didn't keep clean? That's right. How did you kill them? Oh, usually with a rock or with a club. Do you feel that a person who doesn't keep clean under these conditions deserves to be killed? He looked at me as if I was particularly dense. He said, well, that was the rule. They didn't follow the rules, so they had to take the consequence. Well, I had him taken away and had the other prisoner come in, the other capo brought in, asked him the same questions. He came up with the same answers. Neither of them had any regrets, any remorse, had any feeling of guilt. Neither of them felt that they had done anything wrong. For both of them, killing a human being was absolutely trivial, meant nothing to them. I turned my report in to the commanding officer and told him what I had found. I never found out what happened to the kapos. Went back to my unit. But whenever I came across somebody like the capo, somebody like the guards or the work of the guards at Camp Erla, my thoughts always went to our relatives that we had left in France. My mother's sister, my aunt, her husband, and their teenage daughter lived in France during peacetime. We had lost contact with them. We had no idea what happened to them. Later, we found out that they had been arrested by French police, rounded up. They were working under German orders. They were rounded up, taken to a camp in Paris. From there, they were sent to Auschwitz concentration camp, and they were killed at Auschwitz. We got the bad news after the war. Had we stayed in Kontanz, had we not been able to get out when we did, our fate would probably have been the same as the fate of those of the Jewish community who stayed behind, who were not able to get out. Most of them were killed.